Okay, just for context, or just to imply some wider context, this opening photo here, that's Jeffrey Epstein there on the right in the shadows. And that is Prince Andrew, then Prince Andrew, and Melania Trump, Donald Trump's future wife, all hanging out together before she was married to Trump. So these people were all, well, perhaps literally, I was going to use the phrase, the term in bed together, but they may well have been all in each other's beds at different times. So Melania was hanging out with Prince Andrew and Epstein before she got with Trump. So who the hell is Trump married to? But that's another question. Former Prince Andrew was locked up. I'm locked up, they won't let me out. Except he got let out real fast. But Prince Andrew, now Lord Mountbatten Windsor, that's his last name is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He was taken into custody, not charged with anything, but to be questioned, and he was released. Now, what might the prince be being questioned by? Now, me and my father often would joke around, because, my father's retired, and he gets his little couple checks and just kind of doesn't have any responsibilities to. And, sometimes we'll drink, when I'm visiting, we'll drink too much, and then we'll be up at like 6 in the morning. And mind you, we haven't done anything too crazy, just me and my father. And we're like, gee, if you were from a family that had been rich for like 400 years and you were the king of England, like, what could you do that would actually be edgy enough to be exciting? And then I think we both came up with a joke like, well, you would become a vampire and marry a child. And oddly enough, there was a movie that came out a couple years ago, like a low-budget kind of gangster movie. Me and Cavario randomly watched it together one afternoon. Henry Rollins was in it. And it's about a hitman who goes to Amsterdam, and he's supposed to help these vampires, but he ends up killing them, blah, blah, blah. But it's a vampire who's like the descendant of some royal family, and he's going to have like a 2 a.m. wedding to like this 11-year-old girl, because that's all that's left to excite him. So these Epstein files, it's like, when the first story I did a couple days back was about when Epstein received the video. I got your torture video, loved it, it was great. They're torturing people, sending each other stuff. Epstein is kind of like a pimp. He's hooking up women for people, Elon Musk's brother. But back to the point. So Prince Andrew was taken into custody, released. This is really unprecedented. I mean, it's so weird that England has a king and queen, actually. And that people still get worked up about Princess Diana, who may have been killed by the royal family. That's still one of the conspiracy theories. Probably they wish they killed Prince Andrew. But Andrew, if you didn't know, has been stripped. He was stripped weeks back of his title, Prince Andrew. He's now just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Windsor is the family name of the royal family. Mountbatten is another royal name. Lord Mountbatten, who was Andrew's uncle? Great uncle?
New text message from +1 2 3 4 3 2 1 9 4 2 7.
Oh, I'm pre-approved for a $320,000 loan. Great. He was blown up in 1981. England, I mean, a lot of these European countries that we think of as like, well, you just generically think of as Europe, they're all white. But like, even within these countries, there's groups of people that feel like they're oppressed. The United Kingdom is an empire, suppressing the Scots, Welsh, and Irish. And the Irish blew Lord Mountbatten up on a boat with his little grandchild in like 81. This was not that long ago. So things could go off the rails. England's economy has gone down since they made the bad decision to leave the European Economic Union, though they were never on the common currency. Of course, England is a country, even more so than the United States, is experiencing, older white people. For older white people, the way people look is a lot different than they were growing up, and it's disturbing to some of them, whether that's rational or not. So England, whatever problems you think America has, it's a little more extreme there already. And now you have the symbol of England. The monarchy is in peril now. If King Charles is seen to have been covering up for his brother for some time, might he be forced to abdicate? I think it might be a good thing to see the end of the monarchy. I mean, remember, King Charles, he has those two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. The one married a black woman, so they took him out of the running to ever be the king. Remember that. They're living in L.A. now, and that's why he was taken out. He married a partially black woman, so they took him out the king running. So all that would be left is the Prince, William. Who, I don't even like talking about this type of stuff, but I guess this is how inappropriate everything all is, and how the royal family's kind of a joke, so this might be a chance to just end it all. I guess there's some running joke in England that, not the one who married the black woman, the other one that's still there, I think that's Prince William, that he likes his wife to sodomize him. So the national airline Ryanair in England has like an ad that we'll leave a seat up for you, and it has like a object pointed in the air and a picture of Prince William. Like all this real seedy stuff that's you would think they're making jokes about this, about the and this is like a national ad campaign. So, and if you don't understand what I just said, good. Things are getting too deviant. So, is Andrew under investigation for having sex with the 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre? That at this point would probably be hard to prove because she's dead. Now, for those of you who everyone's heard bits and pieces, the Epstein stuff is just so much. You must have heard some of it, even if you're not keeping up. There's so much to keep up with it, and you have a life, and you shouldn't be really keeping up with it like that. But Virginia Giuffre was the woman that really broke the case open. As far as this big explosion of it, since 2019, she came forward and said, I was one of these underage girls, and I'll testify, and blah, blah, blah. She's the one where there's the photo of her and Prince Andrew that he says, I'm not saying it's a fake photo, but I never remember taking it, and she's saying she's 17 years old in the picture. Now, is it illegal to put your arm around a 17-year-old? Because it doesn't a sexual hug. No, it isn't, but why would you deny it? There's pictures of me giving my friends, various kids a hug. I wouldn't deny being in the picture because there wasn't anything going on other than something normal, and it would look normal. Now, what happened to Virginia Giuffre? Well, she was paid $14 million by the royal family. That was the secret settlement, but in England they figured out it was $14 million. That was the crown that paid the money, because Prince Andrew don't really have no money. Or he had a salary of £1 million a year, or he was working as the trade envoy to maybe the Middle East or some part of the world, which we're going to get into in a second. So he certainly didn't have $14 million. The crown paid it out. Virginia Giuffre had a very sad life. She was living in Australia. Basically, at the end of her life, what happened? Did she take her own life, or did she die of cancer? I think she took her own. No, she was leaving those weird. She was saying, I'm going to be dead soon. And then she died, supposedly of cancer. But her husband, well, let me not get let me not talk myself into a lawsuit. If I remember correctly, there was some allegations of physical abuse from her towards her husband, and that he was like running through her settlement money gambling. Boy, life is, imagine that. Imagine you get taken advantage of as a teenage girl. Years later, your name is splashed all over the press. You get some money, and then your husband loses it at the casino. You know why there's no advanced alien life we've been coming across? Because once you get consciousness and civilization evolves to even a limited extent, you realize, like, why be here? Who wants to live forever? There's too much messed up stuff going on. I mean, human beings are. And that's another thing. Well, we're going to talk about it at the end, the scapegoating of the elite, because all us regular people are just as bad as them. They just got more money, and they do it in nicer places. But that's another story. So, what were they questioning him about? Was it about Virginia Giuffre? Maybe, maybe not. Are there other younger girls? That would be bad. There's a French guy who also killed himself in prison right before or after Epstein did, who was part of that whole network. I think Melania was tied into one of his modeling agencies, and he was providing 14 and 15-year-olds. A lot of these big modeling, let me not say a lot, within that modeling world, there were some, if you have a rich person backing you so that you can rent an office and hey, it's a modeling agency and it has an office in, this downtown of this expensive city of Paris, of New York, and you hire, top photographers. I mean, it's an easy way to create a place for, now you have a lot of attractive, 12 to 18 to whatever age girls and men, boys, whatever. And you have we're having a work, wine and cheese party, come by Thursday night, and there's billionaires there hanging out, and you create a way for these groups of people that wouldn't, like if I want to meet 14-year-old girls, I'm going to have to create some scenario where I can be around them. I can't just pull up on them. Well, unfortunately, if you run through a poor community where there's no parents and the little girls are just walking around, you actually can't pull up on 14-year-old girls, but which is the reason why a lot of girls from broken homes and poor communities got problems, because they have no defense mechanism from society around them. Another story. Oh, the boys too. Probably the boys even more, who knows? What they also could have been on him for, which has a much clearer paper trail, is his financial dealing. So like I said, at $14 million, he didn't have that. Where was he getting money from? He was given, his mother gave him, in maybe the late 90s, gave him a house. I mean, you're one of the princes of England. Sure, you're going to get given a house. Whatever, that's fine. He was given a 12-bedroom with 12 matching bathrooms home. And I guess it was somewhat newly built or newly redone, and they kind of made joke of it stylistically. They said it looked like a Tesco. Tesco is like a supermarket chain in England, so it was like a giant supermarket with bedrooms, whatever that means. But maybe in 2008 or something, or 2012 or something, he put it on the market. So the house was real estate agents were guessing it at $7 million in value. He put it on the market at 12, and it was purchased by a Kazakhstani who later got into trouble and admitted to money laundering, and that he had gotten money given laundered to him from some Italy shit, some elaborate where probably organized crime is involved somewhere. He bought it for $15 million. So he bought it for $3 million over the list, and really for double what people thought, that real estate agents thought it was going to be worth. Clever way to bribe. See, when you start figuring out how to move illegal money into legal things, how to influence powerful people like a royal family member or a politician in the United States, they may not be making a lot of money, or else, you know, I mean, it might be a lot to me or you, but you can always have more money. But you can do something like buy their house at twice of what it's worth. In Epstein's emails, then Prince Andrew, in his capacity as a national trade consultant, so someone, you know, you go to different countries and meet with their leaders and like, oh, what industries do you have here, and you know, what sort of economic stuff can we get going on between our two countries to build employment and etc. He was sending Epstein information that he was collecting that was meant for the British government to possess and process as part of their, the Secretary of Commerce or whatever it's called there. It's not information to send to your friend. It's sort of like the equivalent of what like insider trade. Well, it's trade secrets. It's exposing trade secrets, right? Like if I have a job at the U.S. Treasury or something, or I work for the U.S. government Bureau of Labor Statistics. Oh, here's a perfect example. And friends of mine, I have a master's in economics. That was a job like a person with an economics degree. You work at a bank, or people if they went into government. I know people that were not high, like almost at the top, but people at the IMF, but also at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is a U.S. government thing. That's who BLS.org. I mean BLS.gov. Do your homework. You want to consider yourself someone who knows about the U.S. economy? BLS.gov, Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's what tells you about all the jobs in every little sector in every state. And
new text message from Ms. Washington, the banker.
Oh my God, stop with this. Oh, what the hell was I saying? I'm all thrown off. Ms. Washington, the banker. Oh yeah, you can't give out trade. If I worked at Bureau of Labor Statistics and I called my friend on Wall Street a day before the report was released to the public, because those reports impact what people think stock prices should be and etc. That's like that's trade secrets. I'm impacting trade, federal crime. So Prince Andrew could be in trouble with the bribery stuff. Boy, this Epstein thing has turned out to be, and we're just getting started. Only half the documents have been released. They all haven't really been precisely poured through. There's still a lot of redactions. That we're less than halfway through. And let me bring you back to this photograph of Jeffrey Epstein, Melania Trump, and the now arrested and under suspicion of something or multiple somethings, former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And let's just hope we don't find out anyone in any royal families is a vampire marrying 11-year-olds. Now, if there really is like a secret vampire, when I say vampire, I mean like people that have been like, they haven't had, their families have been ultra rich and they haven't had to work for like 900 years, so they've like turned into this different species, and their only excitement is like preying on regular people, like Saddam Hussein's sons. So people can get sick when they are if people don't have something to do and they're given too much power, which on a whole nother tangent, if you believe all these AI lunatics, oh, in 10 years, there'll be no jobs, no one will have to work. What are we gonna do? Go around serial killing and raping each other? Human beings need something to do. That's why people like being dope fiends. Gives your life structure. You wake up, you gotta get some money. Who got the good stuff today? And go over there. And, oh, Johnny ain't there. We're gonna go see Rico over there. I don't know, humanity's best days may be behind us. I don't know, I don't mean to be pessimistic. But somewhere in Epstein files, there might be a vampire wedding to an 11-year-old. That's all I'm saying. But in the meantime, we got Prince Andrew, who may bring down the royal family because of his brother, who is now King Charles, was covering up for him. Remember, we learned with Nixon's fall, and this is what we've seen with all the celebrities, that ain't the crime, it's the cover up. Even Diddy. If Diddy would have just paid that money and accepted a domestic violence or something, but it's all the going around and intimidating people and lying on the stand, that messes you up. Diddy could have just kept buying penis and doing his 2CB and living his best life. But yeah, so we don't know for sure that Prince Andrew engaged in anything, but he was taken into custody, and they already stripped him of his prince duties, or his prince title, I should say. Did he sell a house at an inflated price? Did he mess? They say, these Congress people that have seen some of these Epstein files, because all we've really heard about hardcore now, they keep talking about massages and 18 and 17-year-old girls, which is sleazy and might be in some cases illegal, but it's not that bad. But if they start rolling out 14-year-olds, like who were in Epstein's original case that he got put on work release probation for back in Florida in 2007. Remember, Epstein's initial case involved 14-year, like 9th and 10th graders who were economically deprived being brought over to give them a massage and then, take your pants off, and then it ended up being intercourse. These were young, about 9th, 10th grade. That's a slutty 18-year-old shouldn't be preyed upon either, but like 14-year-olds, head's gonna roll. So the monarchy of England is in a real crisis mode, and yet somehow Donald Trump is dancing through the raindrops. Amazon just spent $75 million to make and market that. Calling the thing called Melania documentary is disrespectful to me, who makes documentaries, because it's not a documentary. It's closer to like a music video, or not even a music video. It's like it's a promo piece. It's a commercial for Melania. That's what it is. It's not a documentation of anything. And Amazon paid the bribe. Remember, Jeff Bezos, Washington Post covered the news in Washington. He bought the Washington Post. He's semi-dissolved it. He paid, just like that Kazakhstani overpaid Andrew for that mansion. Bezos had Amazon Studios put up the unprecedented $40 million production and $35 million to market a nothing. The Melania thing is a nothing. That's a way to ingratiate yourself with the president. And let's not forget who directed Melania, none other than Brett Ratner, who fled the country with Russell Simmons for the same reason, because he was actually Russell Simmons' assistant, grisaping with Zimmern. lots of allegations. So he's trying to bring himself back in the fold by doing a movie. So, but doing a movie for the First Lady and the guy is supposed to be his last. Well, legally, Trump can't run no more. The plan is for Trump for Trump to have a third term. They're going to try something. Now, so much is going wrong in his first year for Trump, and he himself seems to be losing it. I think we're going to be saved by the bell. I don't think that Trump is going to be able to pull off what they're trying to, and he's losing. This Epstein files really coming out. The debacle with ICE, but the Epstein thing were his own mega base, because a lot of them were into all that Pizzagate. Like, that's what got them energized in the first place. So they didn't. I will give it to some of them MAGA people. They drank the Kool-Aid to an extent, but they forced that Epstein stuff to get released, and it's getting bad. The head lawyer of what? Goldman Sachs? A woman quit the other day because she was exchanging inappropriate text mails with Epstein after he had been convicted of doing stuff with 14-year-old girls. In corporate American politics, a guy that's been convicted of doing stuff with 14-year-old girls, you ain't supposed to have no kickings for him. Think about it. In a jailhouse setting, right? Say you're a regular inmate, you're okay, Al's okay, he gets to walk around and no one beats him up. But now Al's sitting with the guy that messes with the 13-year-olds. You could get slapped around just for running with the PDF files in jail. So, in a world of people that have, when you're the head lawyer of a bank, much less a politician, the Crown Prince of England, you have a tremendous amount of real life responsibility and people looking to you for moral guidance. But you are what's known as a fiduciary. You ever heard that word? Fiduciary. You are responsible for other people's money. Like when you set up whatever, you put some money in the bank, you have a baby, we're going to put $1,000 a year into a trust for our kid when they turn 18. Well, that banker, that banking firm or that bank, they are the fiduciary. They're holding the money and doing certain things with it for you, but it's in trust of you. It's not theirs. It's not theirs. It's yours. They just have control of it, but it is not legally theirs. So when you're in positions of fiduciary trust, you're the head lawyer of something, Goldman Sachs, that has, I don't know, hundreds of billions or $1 trillion under management. What are you talking to a guy who that in jail, if you talk to him, you'd get beat up just for hanging him around him in jail? So I'll let you know when the vampire weddings are exposed. Now, Prophet American Dope.